Hi there guys, this is one of our key tourist attractions, and today is a must-see area called Belgravia in West End, which is at the borough of Westminster, and we shall be looking at its key streets, which is Elizabeth Street, and other one is actually Montcalm Street, and we shall be going around and looking at his fabulous architecture and all the unique white buildings. So let's go and have this fun together. I'll see you at the scenes. Adios, peace. So guys, we're at the Belgravia right now. See you around. We have begun our walking right now, and we're just gonna make a left turn to Elizabeth Street, one of the key streets. So Belgravia, guys, is a very affluent area, very residential area, and lots of entertainment. To find out more, guys, follow me, and we shall enjoy this tour and fun together. So let's go. So at the moment we're at the Buckingham Palace Road. We're moving towards the Victoria Station, and we're going to make a left turn from Victoria Station into Elizabeth Station. Elizabeth Street. So as you can see, that building there, that looks like a garage underneath the ground floor for the coaches for Victoria Railway connections. And so guys, this is the Elizabeth Street. And there's a coach coming up from the right hand side lane. So guys, Elizabeth Street is one of the key streets, so it has lots of cafes, upscale restaurants, hotels most likely, and lots of entertainment for the residents that live around Elizabeth Street. So we're at the beginning of the Elizabeth Street, and we have another key street which is called Montcalm Street in Belgravia. Which is a Montcalm, so we're gonna visit that Montcalm Street later in the video. So most of the Elizabeth Street guide is made from cobblestones. They're especially made from cobblestones, not all cobblestones that belong. So you got the Ebury Street there, guys. Not much going on there, and you got the actual activity of the Elizabeth Street there, and you got the Peggy portion there, and here is the Bailey Sage. Peggy portion here. And we've got the attested lab there. We've got ACs there. And guys, this is the very popular Thomas Cobbett, the emperor of the trade building back in the days in 1800, which named this pub as Thomas Cobbett. Thomas Cobbett was a very remarkable man, outstanding builder of the 19th century, innovative developer of the property and friend of royalty. Nicknamed Emperor of the Building Trade, the former journeyman carpenter made a vast fortune from good businesses, principles and craftsmanship. Yet he always thought of the welfare of his workmen and of the people, rich or poor, who would live in his houses. Head to Elizabeth Street to discover one of the prettiest and most Instagrammable streets in London.
Just 5 minutes stroll from Sloane Square and Victoria Station, the flower-filled street merits exploration for its cozy restaurants and cafes, independent fashion boutiques and homeware shops. With its elegant quirkiness, it's the perfect spot to stumble upon some of London's hidden gems.
Busy. So let's go. So on the left hand side you got the 65 Walden, whatever that is, Walden High Mist 65. Nice little corner shops, guys, everywhere. The very upscale Philip Tracy. So basically, guys, we're still at the Elizabeth Street, and we passed by all the shops and upscale cafes. So what is Belgravia like, guys? Really, Belgravia is all residential area. Most of it is residential area for people to live, and it used to be basically back in the days very infamous place. Used to be called Five Fields, and used to belong to the rich families. So stand by and I shall give you more information in details. Yes.
Belgravia is not only renowned for its architecture but also for the historic garden squares which provide the landscape setting for the terraces of the houses. Belgravia was known as the Five Fields during the Tudor period and became a dangerous place due to highwaymen and robberies. It was developed in the early 19th century by Richard Grosvenor, second Marquess of Westminster, under the direction of the Thomas Coppet, the emperor of the building trade as he was known, focusing on numerous grand terraces centered on Belgrave Square and Eaton Square. Much of the Belgravia, known as the Grosvenor estate, is still owned by a family property company, the Duke of Westminster's Grosvenor Group, although owing to the Leasehold Reform Act 1967, the estate has been forced to sell many freeholds to its former tenants. Belgravia is near the former course of River Westbourne, a tributary of the River Thames. The area is mostly in the City of Westminster, with a small part of the western section in the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea. The area is almost residential, the particular exceptions being Belgrave Square in the centre, Eaton Square to the south and Buckingham Palace Gardens to the east.
So guys, we're gonna after the narration now, we're gonna continue making a left turn into a, I think this is a Euston Square, as you can see. And these are the little squares. Basically, the whole Belgravia is known for its greenery squares, basically. And most of them are actually members only. So basically, you need a key to get into one of those parks, because it's a affluent area due to private tenants. So we're gonna walk along the Euston Square, and we are heading towards what we call Sloane Square. One of the squares is just next to the Belgravia district. So Belgravia district is within the Westminster, City of Westminster borough, which is like a state. So the people in the UK, what you call, with their own authorities or like own governing bodies, they call them boroughs, and every borough has got their own districts there. Belgravia is one of the districts in West End. So is Pimlico, Soho, Mayfair, Westminster, and City of London. So that's what they call it in the UK. So they call them boroughs, basically. Those are much larger districts which have their own governing bodies. And so that is how it is in England. So as you can see, guys, as I said, Belgravia is most of it is residential, and most of them are terraced, stucco terraced houses or townhouses, they call them, which is stucco means some sort of type of plaster that they use on exterior walls, which is white or beige, as you can see. And obviously it's full of cafes and upscale cafes and restaurants and entertaining places. Basically, there's lots of interesting architecture going on in Belgravia that you can have a look. Like, there's a really contrast between certain buildings that look very unique. Most are beige, white. Some are from classic red bricks. So the area is very clean, guys, and just like the other neighbouring districts, which is I think the Belgravia is between Pimlico and Chelsea. So areas are just clean, just like these neighbours, basically. So as we're walking towards the Sloane Square, and this road, which is a Euston Square, takes us all the way. If you make a left turn from Elizabeth Street, straight to Sloane Square, where it is known. So there's basically underneath, it used to be Tributary River, used to actually be a branch of Thames River.
The River Westport or Kilburn is culverted to small river Thames tributary in London, rising in Hampstead and Brandesbury Park, and which as a drain unites and flows southward through Kilburn and Bayswater to skirt underneath the east of Hyde Park Serpentine Lake, then through central Chelsea.
So we are passing by Bond Street, this is. So this used to be, that's where I was walking from, as you can see. Long stretch of roads. So, and our route really takes us from all the way from south of Belgravia going towards west, then towards going back to east, then north, then back to south. And that is our route. It's a planned route, which I will try not to deviate from, because sometimes I'll deviate. Is everything interesting? So guys, this is a Sloane Square, as you can see, and Sloane Square basically is a small area, or a little island, which they call the island. Big pavement, and there's a little snack bars there that you can actually have fun and relax. So it's a very known square in West End, Sloane Square. Yeah. So we're in the Stone Square, guys. Yeah. So basically, Stone Square is not really part of the Belgravia district. It's just next to it, so I included it because it's just about a foot away. You just put your foot over across the street and you're just out of the district. So just next to it, basically. So here you have the fountain, guys. It's always switched on and it's flowing very nicely. So we're gonna go around the other side of the Stone Square, guys. This is the other side of it. Yeah. So it's a quite busy place. There's no restrictions coming here. It's still a public place with all the snack bars and drinking bars, no alcohol, like soda drinks and beverages. So guys, we need to cross the road here, and there's no zebra crossing, so I've got to be careful what I'm doing here. So let's cross. I need to cross and go into that small slip street there, guys. So we've got the botanist there as well, as you can see. Number 7 botanist. So this is the botanist. So we're at the smaller, more narrow streets, guys, full of different architecture and different environmental structures and so forth. But it's still clean. As you can see, Cadogan Hall. It's the Cadogan Hall tower. As you can see, Cadogan Hall with a small tower there. So where does the Cadogan name come from, guys? The Cadogan used to be a name of it is the name of a very one of the wealthiest families in UK, and they actually own many places in London, especially in West End. And so stand by, I shall give you information on Cadogan family. Now it's a big company basically. So stand by.
Callaghan Group Limited and its subsidiaries, including Callaghan Estate Limited, are British property investment and management companies that are owned by the Callaghan family, one of the richest families in the United Kingdom. They also hold the titles of Earl Callaghan and Viscount Chelsea, the latter used as a courtesy title by the Earl's eldest son. The Callaghan Group is a main landlord in the West London district of Chelsea and Knightsbridge, and it is now the second largest of the surviving aristocratic freehold estates in central London, after the Duke of Westminster's Grosvenor estate, to which is adjacent, covering the Mayfair and Belgravia.
So basically guys, we're at the smaller streets, and you'll be seeing lots of park cars still in Belgravia, lots of park cars and lots of trees and classic red brick buildings as well. And most likely we're going to pass through what it looks like a mews structure, which is the houses next to each other. They call them mews, M-E-W-S. So guys, we're entering, I should give you the name of the street in a second. I think it's Doyle Street, something like that. Sorry, Doley Street, yeah. Not Doyle, Doley Street. So again guys, one of my dummy running stories that I was dummy running the other day. Yeah, I stumbled up here accidentally, and I thought it was interesting just to go through this little narrow residential area here. There's a little street stretching all the way to the main road, which takes us to Belgravia Square, that road. And now we were at the Doley Street, now we're at the Cadogan Lane. So the Cadogan Lane is very rife along in Belgravia, guys. So basically what we have here is lots of accommodations with, looks like entrance. It looks like a garage type entrance, but I'm not sure, because they got the door of the property next to it, so I'm not sure what sort of functionality is there. Is it a garage? I'm not sure. If you know guys, put it in the comment, because basically really this is my well, second time basically passing through this, but I haven't made any proper research on the properties, because it's very hard to find detailed research on each and property. So guys, today is Tuesday. It's the it is the 1st of August. August is supposed to be the hottest month in a year in the summer, and the weather is about 22 degrees Celsius in London, and time is 3:30 p.m. Yeah, so basically all the way from the start of the Cadogan Lane, which is this street here, they call it Cadogan Lane, it's all type of properties. They look like mews. and it terminates at the end of the lane. As you can see, most of it is all white and clean. So guys, to tell you something, even the trees and all the gardens with flowers are really looked after correctly, and they all look decent and in good shape compared to other areas in London. Of course, we're talking about like besides West End areas, south or east. So there's a lot also contrast between the affluent area and non-affluent areas, obviously. So that's how it looks so great. I mean, if this lane was in another part of the London, it's probably look a bit rougher, I believe. Because if you're actually interested in property prices, don't ask, because they're very expensive. So if you can really come and take one, just do a research and jump into one of the nearest estate agents and give you further detail. You can also look it up on a Google search. Those who are new to London, basically. So again, guys, we're coming to the more of a people's area. There's people about. So basically, the Belgravia can be treated as a tourist attraction place. It's very expensive if you come new to London. Everything's very pricey, guys. I mean, it's 3 times. If you want to buy something, it's 3 times as much as what you buy from an ordinary shop in another place in London. So basically, I try to some sort of a fizzy bottle of drink from next to Westminster Bridge. It costs something like £1.90. So, and I bought the same one here in Belgravia, which cost £3 and 30 pence just for that. So it's much more pricier than usual prices. So I suppose it's based on the economical structure. It's based on the area, what you want and how you're living, what you're earning basically. If you're like earning really greatly, then it will be a normal thing to do, to spend a certain amount. So. So guys, basically I had a hard time crossing the road because there was no accurate traffic system showing you what you're going to do, whether you're going to cross or not. It's just traffic lights for the cars but none for pedestrians. So when it's green, you know you cannot go. When it's red and you need to actually wait, that red is basically for the cars. It's kind of confusing. I don't know what this is, guys. Let's have a look. Okay. So guys, we're heading towards Belgrave Square, one of the largest squares in Belgravia. We're just gonna go around it. There's lots of embassies around that square as well. We're just coming up to it right now, and like Spain, from Hungary, from Pakistan, and Turkish, and a few more others basically. I just can't remember which ones. Here's the one right here, guys, as you can see.
Send it there.
So, we're at the Cheshire Place. This place is called Cheshire Place. As you can see, there is the square right ahead. As you can see on the green trees on the screen. So there's another crossing I have to do, guys, which is not safe to do so. I could go to the zebra crossing there. And after this, guys, going that way, then going that way. So I'm really confused. Let's go. It's another embassy here, guys. See, since I'm around the embassy buildings, I hope that someone don't come out and say, "Oh, you cannot film again." One of those. But I don't think it's going to happen because I was with my camera the other day here, and nothing as such has happened. So basically, guys, I really don't understand why people are more thinking when you got like one of those large black cameras, which I have, which is what you call a digital DSLR. You know, one with the lens that you can actually exchange lens on top. I have one of those, which attract attention, and quite a something like just 1.5 foot tall motorized gimbal as well, and really catches people's eyes. Or when you're in a public place, you're near like a private place, they come out and tell you what you're doing. If you had like a mobile, like a lot of walkers do, you get away with it because they say just a mobile. You know, it's not important, but when you got one of these, they think you're working for something, or you're trying to do something more serious. So basically, I mean, if anybody wanted to do some sort of espionage or anything near certain places, they can easily get a much more smaller, high quality camera, like thumbnail size cameras they do nowadays, and just document the place. I mean, it can be done really easily. It's just people have to react to it. I just don't understand. Right, as you can see, this is a Belgravia Square. It is a what you call a members only pocket of greenery, which people on the surroundings, people who live on the surroundings, come here and sit and relax in their own comfort. It is full of flora, as you can see, and this space here is, you can see a bit of the inside, what it's like. So nice and tidy. See, it's nice and tidy. So this is the Belgravia Square. We cannot go into the park, guys, because it is private. But as you can see, the surroundings is exquisitely attractive. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go to a crescent road. That it looks like a crescent. Basically, crescent means moon, half moon. And we're gonna go around that area to see more interesting architecture. Basically, Belgravia is more and more to do with interesting architecture. And the man named Thomas Cobbett, who's actually is the emperor of the trades building in 1800s. Another embassy, guys, as you can see. So basically, the entire the square is surrounded with embassy buildings. So this is West Halton Street. And we're going to move towards something Crescent. It's Wilton Crescent, guys.
Belgravia Square is a large 19th century garden square in London. It is the centerpiece of Belgravia, and its architecture resembles the original scheme of property contractor Thomas Cobbett, who engaged George Bassavi for all of the terraces for the second Earl Grosvenor, later the first Marquess of Westminster in the 1820s. Most of the houses were occupied by 1840. The square takes its name from the Duke of Westminster's subsidiary titles Viscount Belgrave. The village and the former manor house of Belgrave, Cheshire, were among the rural landholdings associated with the main home and gardens of the senior branch of the family, Eaton Hall. Today, many embassies occupy buildings on all four sides.
So basically, guys, we just entered the wrong. We went to the other end of the Wilton Crescent, basically. That's where it was. So I wanted to come this way and go around, going towards left, so we can actually reach the Montcalm Street. So I started from the other side, which made it further to go to Montcalm Street. So I'm gonna go this way as I planned to. So this is the Wilton Crescent, guys. On the other side of the crescent. And we're gonna walk this way now. So as you can see, those curvy architecture there, all those cornices and tall doors and windows at the top. They're quite old, guys. They go back to most likely 40s. Yeah. That's my guess, guys. 40s. So, as you know, guys, back in the Second World War, there was lots of damage to London from Blitz, as you can see. And some of the prominent buildings or Grade 2 list buildings, most likely been repaired or restored. And some of the memorable buildings and areas has been actually restored as well. Of course, they're going to actually build up the city again. So I'm guessing this one might be something like before 1939. So guys, we're going straight and we're gonna go into, once I find my way, what I'm sure I'm doing, we're gonna move into the more interesting Quay Street. So basically, they're doing some work, as you can see from this. This is where I was walking from, all the way from until this spot here. It's a continuance of that building on the previous street there, guys. So basically we are coming to the end of the Wilton Crescent street. With all these private little parks and all this architecture, which is so interesting. It's already a SW1, guys, Southwest 1 days. And we are moving into our most interesting part of the video. It's a small, short street, guys, with the cobblestones. It's renowned for its cobblestones, made especially for pedestrianized people. Pedestrians to actually go and have fun there. As you can see, the sign on the wall, guys, called Montcalm Street, and this is the beginning of it. So we got the sun has come out now, late in the afternoon. It's 4 p.m. now, guys, and sun is out. It's supposed to come out in the morning, but it doesn't for some reason. Maybe it's confused with the timing. And that's the Kinnerton Street. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's about it, guys, basically. Just some retail, pictures retail. I don't think I'm allowed to go in there because it looks like a private hotel. Just had to calibrate the camera for a little bit so it's more stable. So you got all the upscale cafes here, guys, for the wealthy residential people, and you got the upscale restaurants, hotel there as we've got there, waitress. Lots of eating facilities, very fancy. It reminds a bit like a Chinatown, guys. However, it's more organized. It's much more organized than Chinatown. Is very crowded constantly, and people are it's bustling with people constantly. Yeah, so this is Montcalm Street, guys. We just passed from. You got ladies' boutiques and jewellery boutiques and so forth.
Montcalm Street is a street in City of Westminster, Belgravia district in London. It is known for its luxury fashion shops such as Christian Louboutin shoes, Stewart Parvin gowns, and Jubileera Carolina Gucci. and was the location of the original Pentanicon department store. The Knightsbridge and Sloane Square tube station, pedestrianised Montcalm Street is lined with independent boutiques and buzzy restaurants. Highlights include Pentanicon, a 5-story Nordic and Japanese lifestyle hub with restaurants, cafes and rooftop bar under one roof. Other star turns include globally renowned hair salons Errol Douglas and Hershey Sons, fashion favorites Ayres and Cote, and world-famous florist Neil Strand Floral Culture.
So we got all the famous brands wherever you look. So what we're gonna do now, guys, actually we're gonna make a left turn into this, I think it's called West Halcombe Street. And we're gonna go back to the Belgravia Square and make our way into, I think it's Upper Belgrave. Well, yeah, it's Upper Belgrave Road. And we can actually walk down that road, see what's there. The whiter their buildings, the more modern it is, guys. So there's some buildings are very, very white, and some buildings are kind of a beige. It's kind of a 4 p.m. and I would think that it will be more rush hour for the traffic, but it's not that bad actually. So basically, guys, it's been a long time that I've driven. I haven't driven for at least 1 year, because where I live, you can't really leave your car about unless you are in the area for something like 12 years. So it's very, very bad luck. So when I moved back into the area 3 years ago, you cannot actually, there's no actual parking area for any vehicle, not even if you want to pay for one. So because of the local authorities policy, what sort of system, I don't know. So you've got to be there like 12 years to actually able to have a place, even if you want to pay for it, or else to pay for a car. So I haven't got the car at the moment, and I haven't driven for a whole year, and traffic at the moment, it looks good. Actually, let's go this way. So basically, guys, we're at the Belgrave Square again, and we're gonna make a little walk on the left hand side of the square. and reach the Upper Belgrave Road. Continue our journey. What really attracts me is on a personal level is these pillars. So they got these pillars everywhere in all the affluent areas, such as even Belgravia, Pimlico and Soho. I don't know about Soho. I've been around Soho, guys. I haven't noticed much of this. Soho is more of a public place for passing time. Then this is more of a residential area, so it's a little contrast there between this comparison with districts. So we're gonna do another crossing. I think I've used the zebra crossing this time. So guys, I've been taking too many chances lately. So I can't be able to walk to the zebra crossing. And I am walking, but I can't be able to walk there. Now I'm going to do it. Right, we're at the Grosvenor Crescent at the moment. Crossing the zebra crossing safely. And moving down on the north side of the Belgrave Square. Crossing the Halkin Street. Moving towards Belgrave Road. As you can see, guys, I've done a previous video which is called New Pimlico, and another video before that's called Soho, and before that it's called Mayfair. A few districts in West End, you might want to check that out on my channel called Tourist Attractions. So that's a new name that I put there. If it doesn't come up, just type touristic walks and it will pop up immediately, and you can actually explore around my channel with all the interesting videos. So I just passed two policemen with machine guns, and they look kind of cool. It looks cool with the like machine guns they're holding. Reminds me of one of those videos. Reminds me of one of those videos in RoboCop. If you watch RoboCop, the original versions, guys.
Because we went into quite quickly, just didn't want to go.
So guys, we're gonna go into this road, which is the Belgrave Road. It's called basically Upper Belgrave Road. There's not much going on, but it's part of the Belgravia, which takes us back to the south of Belgravia, and our video will end somewhere near Victoria. And so we're gonna go through this. There's some interesting spots. There's Montgomery Street and Elizabeth Street. So let's go and find out what we can do. there's not much going on in Avery Street. Well, actually, let's have a look at Avery Street. One of my habits that I'm going to deviate from my route, but it's just a street. We're going to have a skim by and come back here and we end the video. So this is Avery Street, guys. It's all residential. It does look interesting. This reminds me a bit like the Covent Garden, Little Venice that I done a month ago. I think a couple of months ago, Little Venice, and it had the same structure. Belgravia Court. We've got the living interiors here. Yeah, it's a store for household luxury accessories. Adam hairdressers, dry cleaners. Wow. Actually, every restaurant actually has bits and pieces on it, which is interesting. So basically, guys, we come to the what do you call Elizabeth Street again. No, Eccleston Street. Sorry. So we're at the Eccleston Street. So you got the Eccleston Street here, guys. So it's part of my route. I do the Eccleston Street. And you can also retail is there. There's nothing here that is not interesting. If you're the first time to the London, guys, it's best to come straight to Belgravia. It's one of the top affluential districts in West End. Okay, so guys, we're going to turn back and go to the other side of the Eccleston Street. So what do we have there, guys? Jewelry. Chuck's Belgravia. Yeah. So this is the continuance of the Eccleston Street, guys. And so this side is more over, like I said, it's residential. And here you got the Avery Muse. Yeah. It looks like a private. So guys, my Eccleston Street, it's not Eccleston, it's Eccleston Street. Eccleston Street in Eccleston. And so, we're done here, guys. So guys, what I do, I think it's been almost an hour I've been walking around, and this is my second visit to Belgravia, and my previous was dummy running with the static shots and some pictures, and now doing the main videos, the long form videos, which YouTube actually terms it as long form videos compared to short videos. and I shall end it here. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to do the subscription, and you can always have an update on my channel by clicking the notification bell icon for my upcoming videos, and that will keep you weekly update on tourist attractions. So don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, share, and I shall see you on my next video, which is City of Westminster. So adios, peace.